Hello, good morning and welcome. My name's Lee and welcome to my unicycle ride. Today it's very foggy again, a bit like the last one, but today is going to be predominantly a road ride. Not ideal conditions really, because it's really quite foggy this morning and a bit icy too, so excuse cars. So yeah, today I'm going to ride from a place called Winchelsea, which is just outside of where I live, and I'm going to Canterbury, and I'm not 100% sure yet, I might go to Faversham as well and put an extra 15 or so miles on. So it could potentially be a 50 miler today, which would be nice. And today I'm on the Night Fox again. I bought this because once I get past a place called Ashford, which I'm heading for now, which is about 20 miles, it's pretty much like an off-road sort of track, which would be quite nice to get off the roads for a bit and mix it up and give a bit of interest. So I'm going to plug on, and I'm going to just plug on to get to Ashford, because I know this bit of the road that I'm on, which is not particularly nice anyway. And the rest of it I don't, and there's some pretty big climbs in there, so I'll do a bit of filming in between, but no real major chats I doubt, unless I find a decent road. And yeah, and I'll catch you there. So still on the way to Ashford. Just done a bit of a hill. First hill, it's supposed to be a moderate hill, unless I've got it wrong and it's something worse coming around the corner. I think that was a hill, alright. So if that's as bad as it gets on here, because I'm a bit worried about this bit, it should be alright. Although I do go down, it's one of those hills you go up, I think it's about 300 foot of elevation, something like that, and then you go down 300 foot and then you have to go back up again, more or less immediately after, which is hills I hate. You put all that work in to get that elevation and then you've got to do it again. Makes you stronger, doesn't it? Right, catch you in a bit. Nearly had an accident back there. There's like a frost pocket, like a valley as such, and yeah, and the road, there's ice all over the roads, and I did a proper, I was doing about sort of 11-12 mile an hour, and I started to go sideways on a little sort of ridge in the middle of the road. So yeah, that would have been a nightmare. And then I did just come around a corner there, and yeah, lost it on the ice. It's just ridiculous. It's not even like I mean, it's kind of country roads here, but this bit was in like a little village, and yeah, nothing like it at all. Just come around the corner and I thought we'd go, and then she went right over, and yeah, right in front of a woman as well, which is always the way, isn't it? No damage done, landed on the feet, so all's good. Despite this road being an absolutely bloody death trap, which it is, yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice out here today, isn't it? And yeah, at Ashford, it's just there, you won't be able to see it, it's a GoPro's a crap at distance, but there's some buildings over there, and I know that's the town of Ashford, although it is getting quite big now, Ashford, and it's sort of reaching out even more into the countryside, so it looks like I've got a busy road. At least it won't be icy. No, it won't be like this. Nice. This hasn't been gritted at all. Right, let's get there. What are we on? Mile 17. So that's good. No real stops. So I'm hoping to get here for 20 and I might have a break somewhere around there. Alright, see what this road does. Signage has been pretty good actually. I'm currently following National Cycle Route 18, well, it's 11 and 18, and yeah, it's not been too bad. Pretty much every junction's had the blue sign, and if you sort of miss it, which I have a couple of times and wondered where I am, there's been like the odd blue stickers on some of the lampposts and stuff on the way, so it's been quite good. There's one there. That busy road was very short-lived, and yeah, straight back onto another death trap road. But it hasn't been as bad as the other one. So there's been a few patches here and there. Right, so I'm now in Ashford. Pretty much 20 miles. So pretty much, apart from the spills, well, the spill, I've pretty much done that, and I want to, which is good. Just get it over and done with. So now I've got this cycle path sort of through Ashford, and then back into the country road, into a place called Y, and then on to Canterbury, which will be a bit off-roady. Right, so I'm out of Ashford now, 24.5 miles. Yeah, okay, everything's good, feel good. I'll stop somewhere to eat in a bit, find somewhere I can just have a bit of a nibble. I'm now approaching a place, well, I'm not approaching it, quite a way to go yet. A place called Y, which is W-Y-E. Yeah, and more country roads, so it's really icy on the cycle routes through Ashford. Got a few sideways moments there, and hold on, I've got this to deal with. Yeah, no, it's really quite icy, that, and yeah, and it's something you don't think of because I live near the coast, so when you look at the weather, it says like it's going to be 2 degrees all night, no frost and fog, but I'm riding, well, potentially sort of, I'm at 20 miles inland now, so it's a different world, isn't it? So it's really icy. Right, I'm going to plug on the Y and find something to eat. God, that's ice. Oh, lordy lord. Right, so we're at mile 28, and just come through Y now and just come out the other side of that. So now heading to Canterbury, which is cool. And I don't know what the time is, but I think I'm doing a really good time. I haven't actually really stopped yet, I'm still going. So yeah, so I don't feel tired, but I am getting a few hot spots on the saddle, so I need to juggle the balls, as they say. Just to keep them from developing anything else, but other than that, all's good. It's nice, it's a really nice day today. Shame about the ice, really slowed me down a bit, but I'm not out for the speed. I mean, I'm on the Night Fox today, and I kept the 138s on. I did a ride on them the other day, the 20 miler, the one where I fell off. Yeah, and they felt comfortable, and I just thought, I've been riding the bike quite a bit because let's get the car coming. I've been riding the bicycles a bit because over Christmas the weather was just absolutely abysmal. We just had sort of strong winds, heavy rain, and yeah, and this doing what I'm doing now is my main fitness, so I have to ride 3 times a week. Otherwise I upset myself. So I've just recently, last year, I've got bikes and they filled a gap, and they've been quite nice actually, because I can sort of swap the route around, so I can do stuff on the bikes, lots of road rides, which I couldn't actually do on the unicycle. So it kind of breaks the monotony, because you can only do so many different routes during the winter. Otherwise just things get stagnated and boring, and then it's just another excuse not to get out the door. And so if you eliminate those, so the bikes keep me going, and yeah, keep the legs moving, and yeah, and you can actually get a better workout on the bikes. And I got a fixie, which I might do a video on, because that's such good fun. And they're so rapid and fast. Yeah, and it's just basically like what we've got here. It's just a fixed, there's no free wheel on it. I've got mine on a pretty lumpy gear, so it really does work the legs when you want to do hills and even just setting off. And I got a carbon bike, which initially was a 22 speed, I don't know, but I seem to bin those. Well, I say bin them, I've just made it to a 10 speed. I put a really close cassette on the rear, so it's only 11, I think it's 1122, so they're really sort of going increments of ones, and it's an absolute dream to ride. What other people don't ride, and they ride with all these different gears they've got, I never know. They were just doing my head in. That kind of keeps me going and keeps the interest, keeps me fit. So then when I want to do a bigger ride like this, I'm ready to rock. And I've got to go through the boring, you know, sort of stepping it up, do 20 miles here and then 30 miles, keeping the bar, and you know, and I don't do massive miles on the bikes, still only do about 30 miles, but I do more in the week. So if I'm on the bikes, instead of doing 50, I'll do 100 in the week. Got a real big hill. I'm going to cruise this hill out, and I'll catch you in a bit, maybe when I stop. I just had my lunch. It's nice out here, it's really nice. Yeah, a little bit chilly in the wind, but it's alright, be moving again in a minute. So I'm currently on 30.5 miles. I've probably got about 7 to 9 to go, I think, to get to Canterbury, and then from Canterbury then I'll make my decision on whether I'm going to do the extra to get up to Faversham, which is a bit of pain. I'm getting the train back, in case you're wondering. Yeah, I'm obviously not riding 30 to 40, 50 miles home, depending on what I do. So yeah, I was going to get the train back, and it makes it quite an interesting ride. There's no wind today really, but it's sort of been over my shoulder and on my back all the way, what little there is, so that kind of gives you a bit of confidence, kind of makes things a bit easier. So yeah, and I quite like the train, it's quite nice, and everything's different then, so I've not got any double backs, so I ain't got, you know, and because I don't know most of it, or some of it, I don't even know what's coming up, so that's quite nice. And I don't have a bike computer, so I generally don't know how much I've done and how much I've got left to do. I just sort of look on Google Maps, yeah, and then see what roughly mileage it is, and then I chop and change it from there and see what happens. So yeah, I was going to have a quick chat about saddle comfort and stuff, because a lot of people sort of tend to suffer with saddles, and 9 times out of 10 they blame their saddle, and 9 times out of 10 it's not their saddle. And I am riding today on, no disrespect to Nimbus, but probably one of the most uncomfortable saddles, and that is, I think it's called the Shadow, isn't it? The saddle. And when I first got that unicycle, I kept that on, and when I first got it, I thought it was really a terrible saddle, but it's not really. It's saddle discomfort falls in my opinion into 2 categories. One is saddle sores, i.e. chafing, and the other's pressure sores. And both of them can be overcome pretty simply without spending any money on a new saddle. Pressure sores is basically, you just need to sit on your saddle more. You need to ride more. There's no point sort of thinking, I'll go for a 30-mile ride and then do nothing for a couple of weeks prior to that. You're going to get saddle pressure sores. I get it on my bikes. I've been riding that, 50 miles a week, and now got on my push bikes not long ago, and the saddle was giving me discomfort, and it's just the pressure in a different place. So it's all saddle time, and now I can do. I'm here now at mile 30, and I'm just starting to get a bit uncomfortable in places, and then that's just a case of having to get on off it, having a rest, having a shuffle about, moving a few things around, and letting a bit of blood flow, have a stretch as well, and then you should be good to go for a bit more. Chafing is a different story, yeah, and that comes down to what you're wearing. And I wear bib shorts or big blongs, and I 110% recommend, if you're going to do any kind of ride over sort of 10 miles, get bib shorts. They're brilliant. They're a pain in the backside if you want to have a wee or anything like that, but other than that, you put them on and you put the straps over your shoulder, and it keeps everything in the exact spot pretty much. And you still initially, when I first got them, I still had the sort of pressure sores and bits and bobs, and even a bit of chafing, but then once you mould into them, I had very little issues with them at all. And I'd never go back. I'd never wear normal shorts, because that is half the problem. And don't wear any underwear. That's the other thing. So just them and no underwear. And I always use chamois cream, and I use Muck Off, which is one you can get from Halfords, and I always get that because they've always got it. Yeah, so, and I get through tons of that stuff. I butter it up like a turkey, and yeah, proper cake it in it. And but just get it all in all the crevices, anywhere where you're going to get some chafing where it's been sore before, and yeah, and just whack loads of that on. I keep meaning to get a small tube or something to have for during the rides, just in case you get any others sore spots. So yeah, that really is the only way around it, and 9 times out of 10 it's really not your saddle. And to be fair, that saddle there is not the best. I prefer a Chris Holmes or a QX11 saddle. They're really comfy saddles, but really that's not giving me any problems today, and it hasn't given me any problems for ages. I did have one issue once where it cut off my blood supply to my nerves down there, and yeah, and that was quite frightening, because I stopped for a wee, and yeah, it was like it weren't mine. There was no feeling in it whatsoever. It was quite frightening, and it didn't come back until the morning after, proper feeling. So you can do yourself some damage. You ever get that sort of numbness, and that is really just tilting your pelvis and letting the blood flow to get the blood back into it. And yeah, and I'd crush the nerves. A lot of cyclists suffer from it, and it can become a permanent damage, so that's one to watch out for. Right, I'm going to finish up my lunch and then crack on. Alright, cry. Rapping. Hey. That's another thing about saddle comfort, is don't pick flat routes. Flat routes, you just end up just sitting on the saddle all the time. Try and pick some elevation, and some off-road as well, because periodically it just make you get off the saddle, and that just periodically doing that will let a bit of blood flow, and yeah, and alleviate any problems that way. Long flat rides are the most uncomfortable, and I've got a hill here. Worst time to talk. Right. Oh dear. Nasty. A bit of ice here. Thank you. So, now approaching Canterbury now, pretty fast. Probably only got a couple of miles to go. Maybe 3. 36 miles at the minute. And yeah, this is Canterbury, and I was born in Canterbury, so this place has quite a lot of meaning to me. I used to hang around and grew up here, and these gravel pits here, I pretty much see them from being freshly dug to where they are now. And yeah, this area used to be, we didn't really have any sort of cycle routes or anything on it, or footpaths. It was just all fields, sheep fields, and it was great. And yeah, and ironically they put all these paths through it now, which is good. It opens it up, but they call it a nature reserve now. And yeah, and with that obviously brings a litter, yeah, a lot of people and dog poo. But you know, that's the way it is, isn't it? But it gets people out, I suppose, and enjoy what I used to enjoy. Right. So I made it Canterbury. 39:41. I've gone a bit beyond Canterbury, to be fair. It's really busy, and I just wanted to sort of plug through. It was quite nice. I went through my old housing estate where I grew up as a kid, and yeah, I'm just beyond them trees there, but just driven past my church that I got christened in, which was nice. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but down there somewhere is Canterbury Cathedral. So yeah, kind of feeling it a bit now. Legs are really, they're not really tired, but my knees are aching. One of my knees is aching, and my hamstring on my right hand side is tightening up. But this is a usual thing for me. I've got a couple of old injuries here, and I just have to sort of moderate it. So yeah, so I'm going to stretch them off, and I'm going to crack on, and I'm going to get, I don't know how far it is to Faversham, but I'm just going to ride on to Faversham. I'm at a place, well, I'll be near the university in Canterbury in a bit, and then I'll go through a place called Rough Common Woods. I'm taking a long way as well. There's a quicker way of doing it, but yeah, it'd be nice to just do a bit of off-road and go through do a bit of woodland stuff. It's nothing major, it's all fire roads and stuff like that. And then I should pop out near a place called Bourton and Dunkirk, which is not the one in France, and my mum lives down there, so I might pop in and see her, which would be nice. And then I'm going to go on to Faversham and see my nan and granddad. Not literally, I hope they're not literally, they passed away quite a long time ago, so if I see my nan and granddad, something's gone wrong. Seriously wrong on the way. I'm going to go to their grave because I haven't been there for a while. And my daughter lives just down the road from there, well, my oldest daughter Beth, and I'm going to go and see her, hopefully. And then once I get into Faversham, get on the train and head back. So kind of a nice long ride, and it kind of makes a bit of a thing of it. Get to see a few people as well, which would be quite good. Right, I'm going to stretch off, rest a little bit more, and then I'm going to hit this. It's currently 12:51, which is not bad, considering I set off around probably about 8:30, something like that. So I don't know what my average is, but probably around that 10 mile an hour, but it should be good. Because that's what I was kind of hoping for, sort of about 10, anywhere between 10 and 11 would be good, and then yeah, and then the miles go a bit quicker then, don't they? And not go too fast that I burn myself out. So yeah, gotta crack on. So this is Rough Common Woods or Blean Woods. Yeah, when I was a kid, I was a really good runner when I was a kid, and I was doing a cross-country run, and it was a selection for the Kent team to run in the championships. And these blocks here, I run it, and with a load of we had sort of like selections at school, and I won that one, and yeah, and then we had to come here and then run other schools. And they would just pick the first, I think it was the first 8 out of the field, out of the winners, to run to represent Kent. And I was coming up to these. Oh, in fact, it was a bit further back, and I could see people in front of me. Well, not many, but it was sort of spread out field, and I'd overtaken a lot to get where I was. And I just presumed I wasn't doing very well. I felt really tired as well, like you do as a kid, weak. And and I got to those blocks there, and there was some King School lads there, and I slowed down, and I thought I'll just let my mates catch up from school, and I'll run with them. And yeah, and we got to those blocks, and I must have let about, oh my god, sort of 10 people overtake me. And yeah, and the guy from the King School was counting them in, and he went 13, 14. Yeah, so I must have been like in the top 3 or 2 or second, I don't know. And I was no, and I managed to overtake as many as I could, and I got to the finish line, and I came in 8th. In fact, I was 7th, and then some lad took me on the line, and I got in at 8th, which was the last sort of place that they had, which is just goes to show you, doesn't it? Just keep going no matter what. And yeah, so if I plugged on with that, I probably would have come, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd or something like that, because it's only about, I only had about another sort of 300 or 400 yards to go. So you get for being weak as a child. But I run the cross country championships now at Nails, and we didn't have a massive amount of money when I was a kid, and I had some basketball boots, and it was really muddy, and I just couldn't get any traction. I come 26th, which, considering that was out of all the counties in the UK, I suppose really that's quite a half decent result. But I think if I had a decent pair of shoes, I probably would have done all right. Yeah, and then I discovered girls and smoking, and it all ruined from there. Went downhill after that, my running career. All right, have a look at this. Anyone's ever used a brake before or not? I don't know what to do with the thing. Just a couple of fingers. I start to feel the bite of it, so it slows the wheel down a bit, and then just let it do its magic. Now I've got to climb back up again. We've got a really big hill to go down. I'm a bit worried about actually. It's called Sport and Dunkirk Hill. It's ridiculously steep. I've done it once before on a unicycle, and yeah, you get a bit of brake fade on it, and it's quite a quick road. But that had been my last hill to go down anyway, and up, hopefully. So yeah, got to run up the busy side of the road now, and then that's it. And I should be towards my mum's. Oh my god, that was horrible. So I got as I was going uphill, it's a bit bumpy in places, and the traffic just doing your head in with the noise, and the wind coming off of the lorries. That just really hurt, that did. I've got one hill to do now, and then it should be down and then flat for a few miles into Faversham with any luck. Thornton Hill. Here we go. It's a big long house bastard. I've not ridden up it, and thank God I don't think I'd even make it up it, to be fair. It's not so much steep, it's just quite long. Well, medium. This is what I'd call a moderate hill, put it that way. Alright, see how we get on. I won't take you to the bottom because it takes wherever. It's not a particularly nice road either, it's quite bumpy. And it's got a nasty camber at places. But saying that, I'm on 138. So I've got a GoPro in my mouth. I'm on 138, so I got a bit more leverage than last time I rode it. So at the minute I'm not even using the brake. Alright, my mum lives down here. She doesn't know I'm coming. I didn't want to tell her, because if I told people I'm coming, then you've got to do it. If I don't go to plan. So if she's in, she's in. If she's not, so be it. But I'll tell you what, a cup of coffee would be doing nice now. So I probably hope she is. Alright, catch you in a bit. They weren't in. No coffee for me. I've got a can of coffee in my bag, so I'll have to have that a bit later. Although I'm going to head on now to Faversham. My nan and gran, they'll definitely be there because they're buried in the cemetery. God bless their souls. And my daughter said she'd be in, so yeah, might work out. I'll have to give them a ring later and say I pop by. Right, crack on. Well, my mum's nearly always out anyway. She's a bit of a walker, my mum. She does like, I don't know, I'll have to ask her, but I'm sure it's my brother said it's something like 60 miles a week or something, which is, and he's a good runner, my brother, and he's fairly fit at the time. And he went out for a walk with her and she nearly killed him. And she always used to walk fast when I was a kid. She used to walk down the town and it almost felt like I was flying behind her like some bloody kite. Dragging me along. So she's probably out, which is great. I mean, she started doing this around about lockdown. So maybe even a bit before actually. But she sort of really got into it. And she's in her 70s, which is amazing. So that's probably where I get it from. My brother does as well. Alright, get out of here. So the fog is returning. I'm nearly into Faversham now. Mile 47. I'm nearly mile 48 actually. If it comes in at 49 at the train station, I'm going to have to do a loop. But yeah, the fog's returning and I've lost my rear light. It kind of jarred loose when I hit that bump, and I thought I'd put it back together, but when I did a stop in Canterbury, I looked at it and it's gone. It's just got the shell left and the internal gubbins have disappeared. So I got a little one in my bag, but it's like a little button thing. It has those little button batteries in it, but I don't even know if that's still going, to be fair. So I might skip my nan and granddad, bless them, and just head straight for Beth. Just to minimise the road really, because it's quite busy. So yeah, right, I'm going to plug on, and there it is. That's it all done. Oh yeah, 50.12 miles. I did have to go around the block a bit, just to knock it up. It's a bit sad, isn't it? But you can't be that close and not actually get there. But yeah, 50 miles. I'm in Faversham now, just next to the train station. And been to see my daughter, which was really nice because I didn't see her over Christmas. Well, with COVID, they actually had it themselves at the time. So yeah, just got to get the train back. So funny old video this one, not done a lot of sort of too much recording on it, but I'll try and keep it a short one. And yeah, like if you like it, subscribe. If you want to see more, we're going to do some more as the weather warms up. We'll definitely get a few more done. I might do one on a fixie soon, just to show you on that. So yeah, until the next time, thank you for watching.